What's up, folks? It's your boy Rico the Plug with the RapHustle.com. This is real rapper Rico the Plug. I want to talk about the meaning of they not like us. What does that truly entail? Because what I'm seeing is a narrative that's going out and it's becoming a narrative that isolates people from our culture of hip hop, which is not what the phrase was meant for. It's not what it means. It doesn't mean that because you're not from the United States that you are not like us. So I want to clear that notion by giving you some examples of why I'm saying what I'm saying right now, because I can see where this narrative is going to cause divide within the culture. Now, of course, hip hop was birthed in the United States, in the inner cities of the United States, from people who have been oppressed all their life and never had a voice that spoke for them. After the Black Panther movements and the civil rights movements, it was pretty much mum's the word on what's going on with the people in the inner cities of the United States. And you see how I said the people in the inner cities, because that doesn't mean that it's just all the melanated people in the inner cities, because we all know that there's all types of people from all walks of life that reside within the inner city, close to the poverty levels, the have-nots. It's not a black thing, it's a classification thing, right? And in countries all around the world, there are people who are living in that same type of situation where their voice is not being heard and what's going on in their world is not being heard. But what I'm seeing is taking place is that people are shifting the narrative to make it seem like its meaning is that if you're not from the United States, then you can't be like us. And that's not what it is. Or because you might be a mixed breed, then you can't be like us. That's not what it is. I'm here to debunk that theory before it gets too out of hand, right? Because what happens in this day and age when it comes to this free information highway and media, depending on your influence, you have the power to shape the minds of people to make them believe whatever you want them to believe, which is master manipulation. And anyone who is using master manipulation to destroy a narrative or make something look like it's not, they're dangerous. And because in the United States we have something called the freedom of speech, where anybody can get on here, say what they want to say. Of course, it's free to say what you want to say, but your words come with consequences, depending on what you're putting out. Even what I'm putting out comes with consequences. And what I'm saying may not appeal to everyone who listens to it. Everybody's not going to agree with me. It's okay to agree to disagree. But what I want to do is at least help give some kind of context that maybe you might stumble upon because you may have been manipulated by a master manipulator into thinking that something is something that is not. And this "they not like us" narrative has nothing to do with you not being from our culture because you are not from the United States of America. Let me say that again. Not like us does not mean that you are not of our culture because you are not from the United States of America. And I say that because I see a narrative being pushed throughout these blog sites from, if we was to make it like a political situation, like you got the Democrats and the Republicans, where you got the Kendriacks and you got the Draconians. To put it like that. We got the Kendriacks and we got the Draconians. So we're going to make the Draconians the right. And we're going to make the Kendriacks the left. So just like politics, since it's a political season, this is how I'm going to explain this to you. The Draconians, the sore losers of the elections, are saying that, creating a narrative that Kendrick made the statement of they not like us because he's saying that Drake is half black and half Jewish, and he's from Canada, so he's not like us. He's not a part of our culture, which is not the truth at all. And like Jay-Z said, do you listen to music or do you just skim through it? Because see, first let's start there with the music. Hip-hop is a music genre. Rap is a music genre that was created by hip-hop. So let's get that straight. And rap is there for expression of self. In the time that it was created through hip-hop, it was expressing ourselves and finding a way to deal with the frustrations and the anger that held us in our community of oppression in an oppressed state of mind, to where we have to get this energy out some way. Of course, we have a history of gang violence and things like that. So when hip-hop came around and made a competition to where nobody got hurt, at least in the beginning, and it was just all about boasting skills, of knowing how to formulate words and put words together, and who's saying what that appeals to the crowd. And it is a competitive nature when it comes to music. I'm not sure any other genre was as competitive as hip hop when it came to music. Those genres was made to satisfy the mentality of people who may have been stuck in an oppressed situation and needed some kind of avenue to express themselves. If we talking jazz, we could take it back to the slaves working in the fields and singing and creating hymns and things to sing to keep their mind occupied off of the fact that we are here against our will doing some things that, I'm not saying that we don't want to do it, but we're being forced to do, and we're not being compensated for doing it. In all actuality, it's a law against us that says you're going to do this or we're going to tie you to a tree and beat you. And the most extreme punishment is hanging you from that same tree that we've been beating you from, which is a state of oppression, which is why slaves, in order to become one with their inner spirit, to make them strong enough to deal with this oppression, would be in the fields, humming tunes, creating hymns that all of them can sing together because they are all in this together. And this is how we make our day go by when we're in the field, off the field. This is how we entertain ourselves. There's no formal entertainment within the compounds of where they had the slaves living in. And at that point, let's just say the form of entertainment would come in the form of books. And since it's against the law for a slave to know how to read a book, then there is no entertainment for the slaves but whatever comes from the mind. Whatever is created within and comes out to help bring some kind of solace to these people who are being transgressed upon, if you get what I'm saying. So, let me cook. This is, in turn, where hip hop comes from. A state of expression for people who have no voice in the world or whose voices are getting smothered by media who are telling the stories of these people in these conditions, in these ghettos, who wants you to believe that the people who live within these radiuses, which we call projects, are the bad people. Matter of fact, don't even go over there. They're savages. They will rape your women. You know what I'm saying? They will do anything to survive. Stay far away from them is what the media outlook on the inner city of the United States was at the time hip hop was birthed. Especially after the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Panther movements, and just the movements for black people to free their mind from the shackled mentality of slavery and understand that if they're going to call us black, then we're going to be proud regardless of what they call us. So if you want to call me black, then guess what? I'm proud to be black. Because you're calling me black because of this color of my skin, which is nowhere near black. My hair is black, my skin is brown. The majority of the people in those situations, their skin was brown. But again, I'm going to tell you why I don't like to call myself black, because black is beautiful to the sense that it's the most dominating color on the spectrum. So let's get that straight. But in the context of the word, reason why they call us black people, and this is a psyche that may have been, lost within our compounds of wanting to identify with being black. But that term was brought up to identify us as blank, invisible, non-existence, 3/5 of a human being. It is in the Constitution. So how could black be a nationality when there is no nation called black? The only place you got that term for black was from the United States, which is why a lot of Haitians, Trinidadians, Jamaicans, who share the same colored skin tone as us, do not identify with that word black, and I am not mad at them. And I don't think that none of you guys who consider yourself black should listen to media outlets that because somebody says they're not black makes you want to be like, oh, how you gonna say you're not black? Because we are taking on and saying that we are proud of being invisible. And clearly we're not invisible, because everything that we do influences the world all over. So us being the influence of the world, whether we're rapping, dancing, wearing clothes, twisting our hair up, everything that we do is striking, how can I I said, it's an all-striking appeal to the people who can't do what we do. So how can we consider ourselves invisible by claiming to be black? So I want my people to understand that first and foremost. Don't get upset when people do not identify with being black, because those people know where they came from. In the United States, no matter where you came from, you would be considered black, but that's why they got a line for other. Because they might ask you, are you Hispanic? They might ask you, are you white? They might ask you, are you black? But then you have an opportunity to say other. And I can guarantee you that most people who know exactly where they came from would not say that they're white or black. They would either say, I'm Irish, because I'm from Ireland. I'm Jamaican, because I'm from Jamaica. I know my nation and nationality of where I came from. See, another thing we have to understand is that it wasn't just our color skin tone that were slaves in the United States. The only reason why we are the focus of the slave trade is because we are the most outspoken people when it comes to that. We are the movers within the system that would say, we ain't doing this. So, again, being the ones who catch the focus on speaking up and thwarting the system, we can't be invisible because people see what we do and they move with us. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to get back to why they not like us doesn't pertain to anybody who is on the same, fit in the same element of oppression by the system. If you and your people were snatched up from someplace or used by other people to get ahead, but to keep you down, there's no fair exchange in what we're here for. You are like us, no matter what borderlines you fit within. Whether you're in America, Canada, Africa, or any other place in this world, if you are an oppressed people, you are like us, no matter what part of the world you come from. So this narrative that I see rearing its head from this situation, because we have the draconians who are sensitive about their king being overthrown, trying to switch narratives and manipulate people into believing that now it's a Canada versus the United States thing, light skin versus dark skin thing, biracial versus. First of all, that's the most ignorantest thing that we could even utilize to make that a point, because we all know, I myself know, that if I was to do a DNA test on my blood, then my blood would have a mixture of different nationalities in it. So, the notion that being biracial makes you not like us is void. notion of not being from America means that you're not like us. Void. What makes you like us is the fact that you have been oppressed. You have been in a position where your voice is not being heard. During this Palestinian Jew war that's going on, I came across a little boy that raps, that's from Palestine, who was speaking on the wars and what they have to deal with as kids being in the middle of that war. And hip hop is how he found his expression to get his word out, to where this boy is viral online, rapping from Palestine. And as a culture of oppressed people ourselves, we identify with him being like us. We know throughout the history of rap that people have been rapping in London, Japan, all over the place. This is nothing new. Drake's not the first person from across seas to start rapping. But what Drake is a poster child for those that are not like us. Meaning, you did not grow up in an oppressive position. You were raised in a privileged position, which gives you the privilege to be in a status that you're at within a system that only, how can I say this, allows certain people the privilege. You have the privilege to be in a position to get a $400 million deal in a genre of music, and at a time where nobody's ever seen this before. What? You're not that special of an artist that you are worth $400 million deal on some rap stuff, when the rest of us gotta get it out the mud. The rest of us don't have a Daddy Warbucks behind us that basically has the system by the string and can pull any string that he wants for his number one person. And you may have been put in that position because of where you came from and what you represent as a half Jewish and half black person within the culture of hip hop. But to respect the culture is another thing. If I allow you to come into my house and you do not respect my house, you gotta get out of here. And fortunate enough, when it comes to my house, I can get you up out of here. But when it comes to a house that I built and a governmental system comes along and takes over that house and says, hey, you know what? Fuck them. This is your house. Colonizing. We all know throughout history, this is what happened in every country around the world. It's happening in Palestine, where a system came in and placed some other people in the backyard of some people who've been living here and told them, you know what? This is y'all shit now. And now it's how dare y'all try to take the shit that we was appointed, that y'all been living in y'all whole life. There's a message of what I'm saying and why Drake is not like us. If you respect the culture and you are really from that culture, your love and respect for that culture would make you conscious of how you move within that culture to preserve that culture. And preserving that culture is not about ramshacking the culture, snatching all the artifacts and putting it in your house and saying, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Like the Buckingham Palace. Anyone with a mentality like that does not respect the culture, or else they would have left things where it was. If you come in my house and you like how I have it set up, and you say, I like this statue, I like this picture, I like how you got this looking, I'm just gonna take all this and put it in my house. Or I'm just gonna overtake your house and say that it's my house. You're disrespectful. You were invited into my house, and now you have ramshacked my house, destroyed my house, or took it over my house, and then you're telling me what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do what I do in my house. Colonizing. You're not like us. Because everybody else who came to this house and appreciated this house left it how it was. Respectfully. So the notion of being from Canada or being from anywhere else in the world but the United States and loving hip hop and engaging in hip hop as a culture and respecting the culture, you are like us. But if you come into hip hop and you get very disrespectful after learning what it's about and seeing where everything is at, now you feel like I'm about to ramp up and take all this. This is all mine. It's all mine. Fam, you get G-checked. What Kendrick did to Drake was a G-check moment. And it wasn't to say, you're not like us because you're half white. You're not like us because other people write songs for you. But even in the sense of leaving things the way it is, hip hop was built off of expression of self. So to give a self-expression, nobody else could give you that expression because it's an expression of self. Okay, fine. Within the genre and the system of making music, you can be considered a great recording artist. But when it comes to hip hop and the notion of being an artist that is expressing themselves, I cannot respect you as a top hip hop artist. You're a great recording artist. And you can record songs from hip hop to reggae to pop to whatever. You're a great recording artist. Here, take this script, sing it like this, add your own cadence with your own twist. There. I like the way you recorded that. But you're not the artist because you did not paint the picture. You just traced over it. So There's no way that you're coming into our house bragging and boasting about being the best at what we do when you're not doing what we're doing. You are not expressing yourself. You are a copycat of everything within our culture. You came in my house, you seen how I did this, and you said, I'm going to do that in my house. Then I'm going to act like I'm the one that did it. It's colonizing. This mine, this mine, this mine, this mine. Ooh, I like your purse. Give me that. This mine, this mine, this mine, this mine. And coming from an oppressed people who were sick of being oppressed and created a way to get out of the oppression by entertaining the masses with skills that came from nothing because we didn't have the books going back to the slave days. So we had to create entertainment from the raw by expressing ourselves. And in the sense of us doing that, the whole world caught on. And for an industry that did not respect what we were doing at the inception of what we do, who are now have got a glimpse inside the house and was like, oh, Eureka. We could make a lot of money off of this by taking this and exploiting it and destroying it, because once you start exploiting things, you start to destroy things. Why? Because now you are trying to figure out how you could change things instead of leaving things the way that they are. Once you start changing things, the original has been destroyed. You can say it's been made better. It's still not the original. It has been destroyed. The original makeup of hip hop has been destroyed because we have allowed, once again, people into our house who had no respect for our house. So if you don't respect the house, then you are not like us. You do not deserve to be in our house. And I hate the fact that now our culture, because of being in a poverty level and those visitors understanding that and knowing that, hey, like Pac said, we hungry, we hungry, we hungry. We keep singing, we hungry, we hungry, we hungry, and you not feeding us, and we say, fuck that, I'm taking it. And then we start taking it, and now you start realizing, wait a minute, these folks gonna get it regardless, so how could we calm them down? Here, give them some bread. And as a matter of fact, you see that guy right there, let's give him the bread because he seems like he can control them. So if we give him the loaf of bread and allow him to distribute the bread out to those who we deem deserve it, then we can use those people to keep the other people in line, to distract their minds and have them doing what we want them to do. Because the last thing we want them to do is for their voice to keep getting louder. Because if their voice keeps getting louder, it might disrupt our system of taking over their stuff. So let's act like we're letting them in. But we're only letting certain people in. And in the midst of letting certain people in, let's learn what it is that they want. Okay. Well, they have battles. Just like the nature of being in a tribal environment where battles is entertainment. Africa, India, the Indians, all cultures across the globe before there was TV, internet, or books, anything. Any tribal culture, tribal meaning community culture, all use their mental and their talents to entertain each other. This goes on throughout every culture across the globe. But then you have a group of people who had no structure of community, that were lost in the lands looking for a place to exist. And as they went out and discovered other places and seen those cultures and became fascinated by those cultures, fascinated enough to the point where they want to not only be a part of it, but we want to call this ours. Let me cook where I'm going with this. Some of y'all can use y'all brains to understand where I'm going with this. Because what I want y'all to understand is they not like us is not a racial chant. It's not a gang chant. It's not a separatist chant. When I say that it's not a separatist in the midst, it's meaning that we are better than you. It's a chant that says, if you don't feel the same way I feel about this culture to the point where you want to restore this culture and not destroy this culture, then you are not like us. You are not here for the greater good of this culture. You are here for your own selfish desires. And that selfish desire that you carry is what destroys our natural being as a culture. Because you stumbled upon something that we've been doing and realized that, oh, by listening to you guys, I could do this too. Okay. Matter of fact, I could do this better than y'all now. So now I'm the king of your thing. Even though nothing that I've done is originally a reflection or expression of who I am truly from the soul. Understanding that when the slaves were in the field creating these chants, singing these hymns, all of that was coming from within the soul, the feeling of being oppressed and wanting to uplift yourself through song and dance to overcome the oppression that's being put on me at this time. It helps me to be strong throughout this oppression, to know that one day this is going to end. We shall overcome this oppression. And when hip hop culture became a culture that can be transcended throughout the world, the song and dance that everybody in an oppressive state could identify with, the colonizers found a way to come in and control that after not even respecting it. So here we are. And we're supposed to be here. Kendrick and Drake was supposed to happen. Because in order to save, we have to identify what needs to stay and what needs to go. And if you are of restoring how can I say it, man? I'm cooking, and I don't want to speak out of turn. If you are not in the nature of respecting, restoring, repairing, and reaping the benefits of the hard work that went into creating this harvest, this feast that helps to feed those in an oppressed state, you are not like us. Because this, what we represent, is not what you represent. So you can, within your system that you represent, boast and say, hey, I got the most sales, so I'm the hot. No, nigga, sales and soul are two different things. You can't sell your soul. And if you have a soul, you wouldn't sell it. Having a soul is what brings you into the light of being closer to the God that is within you. If there is not a God within you that makes you pour out your soul, then you are not like us. You are a soulless creature who only cares about yourself. Hip hop is not started by one person or one ethnic group. I see that there's a debate within the community that wants to make the statement and says that black people there's a sentiment in the community stating that, first of all, black people, which again, I don't identify with the black people part because I'm not invisible. If you can see me, like, subscribe, help me get this channel on the algorithm, man, so we can get this real rap out there. But hip hop was not started by just black people, because like I stated earlier, there are all type of nationalities that have been thrown into the bowl of oppression that were in the Bronx, in New York, celebrating when those DJs brought the equipment to the park for everybody to have a good time. And the artists started rapping, and the dancers started dancing. And in the tribal community, we created a wave that made the community feel good And it transcended from this community to that community to across the world. And now everybody is dancing to the beat of that drum when it comes to the heartbeat of what that is. And I say is because it still is here. And this battle between Drake and Kendrick really proves that it is still here. And a lot of us who love and respect this culture are happy to see that it is still here. Because the colonizers that have came in and took over the house and took the soul out of the hip hop culture and the rap genre had for a long time killed the vibe. Pun intended. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Bitch don't kill my vibe. Bitch don't kill my vibe. But you get what I'm saying. And anybody who identifies with Drake being the best at expressing himself within our culture, I got some bad news for you. You have been lied to. You have been run amok, bamboozled. Because that does not represent the essence, the soul of hip hop. And if you don't represent the soul of hip hop, then you are not like us. And you don't have to be from the streets of the United States or from a gang in the streets of the United States to be like us. I see that narrative come, oh, Kendrick can't be because he's not in a gang. Where the fuck did that come from? Of course it was gangs. Anytime two or more black men get together in the, can I say vocabulary, the propaganda of the media from the United States, anytime two or more black men get together, they consider us a gang. You don't look at a group of white men together and think gang. But anytime you see a group of melanated men together, you come with the notion of that's a gang because that's what the media has been telling you. Wants you to believe that that's a gang, which is now why you have everybody scared when they see two or more black men together. If two or three white men come walking through our neighborhood, we don't look at them as a gang that's coming to destroy, rape, and pillage our village or whatever the fuck. But let three black men walk through the neighborhood of the privileged, and the phone calls will start being made from the Karens or suspicious black men walking through the neighborhood. And even though those black men could have just bought a house in that neighborhood, they just want to walk around the neighborhood to explore and see what it is. They're considered a gang because of the propaganda and the oppression that has been put on our being, our natural being, of me just naturally being who I was when I came out of the womb. The propaganda from the United States has me marked as a black man who's possibly in a gang, who's possibly selling drugs and raping women and pillaging the village, who has no respect for himself or his family. This is what the media wants you to know and understand, right? And I was just speaking to people about when you look at Kendrick Lamar and you understand who he is and why he does what he does, you have to go back to his origins. First of all, his mother and father is from Chicago. Right now, Chicago has the worst reputation within inner cities from the United States. Because the news and the propaganda leads you to the shooting, the killing, and everything that's going on in Chicago. Then from Chicago, you got California, which is where K-Dot was raised. So being born in Chicago, raised in not just California, Compton, California, where because of hip hop, the only time the rest of the world knew about Compton came from a group called NWA. The group that broke the mold on telling the real story of what's going on in our community when it comes to this genre of rap that was created within our community. The group that said we ain't just gonna dance and have a good time, we're going to actually talk about this police brutality that is going on rampantly within our communities, which the world had no idea about. Even though they knew, they had no idea that it was happening at such a alarming rate, because that's not what the news was propagating. But now NWA comes out and says fuck the police and talk about how the police are like the terrorists in our neighborhoods. And it opens the eyes. Wait a minute. I didn't know that was going on in the inner city. For those who did care and didn't know, they grew closer to wanting to know what's going on. How can we help stop this? For those that knew what was going on and didn't want that to get out, their mental went to, how do we stop this? How do we stop these young men who didn't have a voice from putting the real news out there? And this is the only time that the music industry, which had been in existence before hip-hop ever became a part of the music industry, who had no respect for hip-hop, this is the only moment where they realize that, wait a minute, if we don't control what they're doing over there, they're going to stop what we're doing over here. And they're really going to tell the truth about what's really going on in this world. And then along comes a guy by the name of Tupac Shakur, who just so happened to be a byproduct of the Black Panther Party, the civil rights movements. And he has a great voice. And he has the power to use his voice to motivate his base to move on his behalf and on what he's talking about. So, at this point in time, we have to stop that from happening. We have to knock the nose off the Sphinx, change the appearance of this thing called hip-hop, which they did a great job within the last 20 years. Think about it. Pac's been dead for over 25 years. So, we got to get him out of here. We got to paint a narrative that not only is this a competition, this is a deadly competition. So let's say that the East Coast and the West Coast are warm with each other. Let's propagate that through our media. And the same thing that happened then is happening now, because the poster child for the industry has been exposed, which is exposes the industry. They don't want to be exposed and exploited, but they want to expose and exploit us for their narrative. I'm sure you could get an account from a lot of people who are not of my skin tone, who might be of a brighter hue than me, who may have had a preconceived notion about how my people are, and had an opportunity to come around and actually realize that them folks ain't like that. A white man can walk through our community with no problem. Now, if in his mind he feels scared, that's in his mind. And if he's in our neighborhoods messing with people just like anybody else, if you mess with people, something's gonna happen to you. If you don't mess with people, nothing's gonna happen to you. Now, are there random crimes in every community? White, black, rich, poor? Yes. That happens everywhere. But because of media and propaganda, they make you think that it only happens within the community of the oppressed. So now, getting back to why and what makes people like us. Came across a personality. I'm not gonna say blog. I don't like the name blogger. I mean, because people are people, man. You know what I'm saying? We can put titles on whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Titles are made to pigeonhole people, and like, I'm not a blogger. I am an informationalist who happens to have a camera and a microphone and avenue to inform you on what my thoughts may be about certain things. And my thoughts aren't everybody's thoughts, and I understand that, and I get it. Let me digress from that. Came across a young man by the name of Lord. Is it Lord Kodiak? What is it?
I'm gonna go with Mac.
His name is Lord Cardiac or something like that. He is a young artist from the Toronto area. He has been involved in some OVO Sweatshop work. He has experienced firsthand the disrespect and arrogance of the OVO regime, let's put it like that. He has been inside, wrote songs with Drake, and has felt like he has been wronged by, you know, the OVO. So he is fighting the battle from within the borders of Canada, speaking out and being a voice for the voiceless youth in Canada who have been used by the OVO regime. Now, I can identify this guy as being like us because of his story, what he's going through, just dealing with the things he dealt with by wanting to express himself freely and getting the opportunity to be in the presence of somebody who they deem to be a great catalyst for them to get in the game because he represents where they're from. And not only that, in the scheme of things, he is on top of the game that they want to be a part of, which is the hip hop game. So he's been invited to the OVO shop, wrote records, dropped music in the studio, which any young man is going to do, given the opportunity to hang out with somebody that they deem a great artist. I'm going to come in there, I'm going to try to prove myself with you, I'm going to give you my best, because, hey, I feel like I have an opportunity here to make something of myself. Because I'm rocking with you. You the boy, you the guy, right? Only to realize that he was used, him, and not just him, but the people from his section was used to prop this guy up even more, and then they was threw to the side, chewed up and spit out. Let me take everything that you got going on, make it a part of my persona, and get rid of you. Trampled upon by an oppressive regime at the OVHOE camp. And now, because of the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake beef, this guy finally gets a chance to speak out about how they was wronged and the things that went on around the OVO headquarters and just what's going on with Drake in Toronto within the whole scheme of the Canada hip-hop scene and movement, and how they have utilized the youth to make a grown man look like he is the king of something that he is not even a part of spiritually. Has no soul for it. And you can tell by listening to this young man that he has soul. And this is a part 2 of a series that he's doing, telling his story, getting his voices out for the people who have been through the same thing that he's been through with this regime. And I found this part very interesting because the title says Aubrey and the Teen Titans, which opens our eyes up to the PDF file accusation that has been put on the poser that is trying to exploit a culture and perpetrate to be one of us. And I can guarantee you, because this guy is from Toronto and because of the oppression that he's been through, this dude that I'm about to present to you is like us. So I'm gonna watch this. This is short. Then we're gonna end this live. Not this live, but we're gonna end this segment after we watch this. I'm pretty sure this is probably about how many minutes is this? It's about almost 20 minutes. We got time. If you're watching this now, if you came to this point, you've been listening to me, you got enough time to listen to this and watch it with me so you can understand where I'm going with this. You are like us narrative. Without further ado, Lord Cardiac, I think I'm saying it right. Lord Cardiac, Toronto MC, part 2 of his series on what's been going on in the 6 with Drake and the OVO camp. This one is titled Aubrey and the Teen Titans. Very interesting. Pay attention.
I ain't gonna lie. Experience. Max, one of them niggas, he was around, you feel me? From them 2010 era, 2011, he's a legend for it.
I hear
I want you to know also that here on this channel, we don't condone any of that. Skullduggery, tomfoolishness, malarkey, shenanigans, and shenanes. We don't promote or subscribe to any of that. But we do subscribe to Lord Cardiac. Back to the video.
It's the Cardi Crow, 2 C's just like Chanel. Change the channel, y'all wanna hear the truth for real. Crows! What it is, Crowdies? We're back with another one. This is part 2 of a few. You know how we do. It's another thing here. But we gotta get back to the rake that's been scraping the culture. You know? Real Canada Dry nigga. You see what I'm saying? Me, I'm a dot nigga, so it's a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? I come from that Tory Lanez cloth. He come from that Justin Bieber cloth. You know, it's a little bit of a difference. So let me show you what the pygmy, what the children are saying about him before I tell you what I have to say about him, allegedly. I have to learn to talk a different way because, you know, this whole journalism thing is new to me.
the Drake allegations. Bella Harris, Hailey Bieber.
By the way, before we get into the content, one last thing. Look, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. If it's your first time to the channel, thank you for coming and watching. You know what I mean? Like, it means a lot to me. By the way, all the support you guys have been giving me is overwhelming. I don't even know how to say thank you to that in a proper way other than to do what you guys have said and like make the shirts. And I don't know, maybe I'll give out shirts or I'll try to do something with this first YouTube check because I'm not even able to get monetized until a certain date. So when we get to that date, I'll let you guys know. Man, I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to say like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about this content. I'm going to definitely say what I can. So let's get back to the content.
Billie Eilish, Kylie Jenner, Bella Harris, Millie Bobby Brown. These women have all been, at one point in time, girls that Drake was close to when they were underage, some as young as 14. But these are only the celebrities. There are many documented cases of Drake engaging in eyebrow-raising behavior with other, less famous teenage girls. But this trend has not gone unnoticed. For years, there has been an almost unspoken suspicion that Drake may have a questionable preference.
Yes, speak on that.
Would you let Drake like...
Ayo, go ask them gallem in Black Creek what they think about Drake. Go ask the gallem in the high schools across Toronto what they think about Drake. They might tell you something similar to this. Listen.
You?
That'll be something I can't confess. I mean, not confess, something I can't. That's be something I can't confess. I mean, not confess, something I can't talk about. Because that'll...
I want to stop that right there real quick and let's analyze the fact that there's a young lady on here saying that there's something that she can't confess, something that she can't speak on when it comes to the OVO camp. And in the context in which she's saying it, it seems to me like she's saying that she signed an NDA, so she can't talk about any of that, whatever happened when they was with Drake. And I just want to say, I don't know about Canada, but in the United States, if the OVO camp has young ladies coming through to the studio or wherever they're going to bring them to, and having these young ladies or these young men and ladies sign NDA forms without their parents being there, I probably say that those NDAs are not null and void. I mean, I think in the United States that would be considered it's a null and void contract because it was a contract signed by some person under the age of 18 who had no parental guidance. Because I'm pretty sure that there was no parents at the house at the time when these girls were wherever they was at with Drake and OVO, allegedly. But I just wanted to put that out there. I'm gonna let it keep going. Here we go.
Be in the court.
In the courts, you're a waste man. You're a waste man. If a child is making this type of allegation, I don't know about y'all, but I take it seriously. I tell you, from a local being and a local person that has been around people, like in Toronto, you either know somebody that knows Drake or you know somebody that's went to his house or you know somebody that knows him personally. That's the only way. And I'm telling you, from one of them three categories, I almost want to confirm this fact. Take it or leave it.
You got Drake to follow me? Like, what the hell?
Here we go. Okay.
Now pay attention to how I string this together for you. The order of which I strung this together for you is very, very important.
Drake thing. Mm-hmm. You met him. When did you first meet him?
So I played basketball, right? So he really was a fan of not a fan, supported one of my teammates at the time. And
this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school. So he was a fan.
Yo.
Your mans is a fan of watching young Galim play basketball and dribble up and down the court. There's WNBA games that he could go to.
Facts.
What your grandma say? What your grandma say? Where there's smoke, there'll be what? Okay.
Yo, Drake like 37. What you mean? Like, you see, people gotta read the room. You can't say Drake was f***ing with you or preeing you or checking you out when you're in high school, G. Hey,
Ayo, what kind of... Who is this?
Who knew you? We didn't know you.
Who? So we're encouraging young women not to tell the truth or only to tell the truth when it's somebody that doesn't benefit them.
Nasty work, act. Nasty
That's
work.
what we're telling young ladies now. That's what academics just said. Academics said, you got to read the room. You can't just tell the truth like that. What? Mr. and Mrs. Allen, please report to your son. He needs you. He's not done being raised.
yo, what's going on?
What's going on with you, my man?
Women's basketball, high school basketball.
That's another thing. Yo, Drake is a fan of women's high school basketball, G? Yo, what? Bro, just listen to this.
So he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this when you're in high school?
Yeah, in
I
high
can
school.
confirm
he was a
the
fan of
fact.
women's
Yes, he is.
basketball, high school basketball. I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. And I was like, oh shit, bitch.
Yo, you tell me, they playing with Drake right here.
Ayo, get off your knees. You're playing with him right now.
Academics. Livingston Allen, whatever the fuck your name is, playing with Drake. This girl is speaking her truth, and you're saying that she's playing with Drake. You're not like us, fam. Shut the fuck up. Respectfully, nigga.
You're playing with a part of him that unfortunately, there's allegations of younger people playing with that part of him. You're playing with that part of him right now.
Facts, nigga. Shut the fuck up, bitch ass nigga.
Get it out your mouth, champ. Shout out to Showface News. He put me on that word, champ. That's my U.S. word, champ.
God, take this.
What's wrong with you, Crody?
Us now.
What's wrong with you? She told the truth, her truth, nothing but the truth. Now, granted, she's sitting there talking to the devil, but still, she told the truth. What's wrong with you that you just won't believe her? Or how much have you been paid to say we have to divert and redirect this? The rabbit hole gets deeper. I can go. You know what? Let's play the video.
Nah, stop it. Somebody overknew this already. Nah, stop it, man. Hey, I know there's some people who want to just believe that every man is like a pedophile. Or every man is just fucking weird and creepy.
No.
And
Act, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, Act.
it should have been
You're
validated
type
because we've seen a couple of people
That's your man's?
been accused and look like. So I'm from Canada, so honestly I want.
Hey, wait. Before we get into that, I want to prelude that by saying, yo, this is a young Canadian kid. Listen to this kid's perspective on being in the same dating pool as Drake. I mean, Drake, the scraper of teens. I mean, this, you know.
Drake to win. But if I'm being real with you, bro, growing up in high school, 16, 17, 18, having a crush on the baddest girl in your school, and then seeing her post at Drake's mansion every single time, seeing Drake in the follows, you don't know how demoralizing that is to a young teenage boy in Canada. So if I'm gonna be real, I've been waiting for this guy's downfall for a minute. I'm gonna still bump his music, because that shit goes crazy, but this is for the younger generation. They don't have to deal with that bullshit no more.
Do you feel the conviction in this young man's voice? And if you just read between what he just said, just him even having to say that as a young teenage boy in high school, having a crush on the baddest girl in the high school, but not even being able to get close to this girl because she is being mentally manipulated by a superstar to where she's posting pictures and videos of being at his house. So for a young man in his position, he has no way of even talking to the girl who he might like, who could possibly be his future wife, because it's a grown-ass man who has these young ladies under the influence because they are able to come and kick it around a millionaire, billionaire, superstar, international superstar, and hang out with him at his house. A man 30 years plus that cannot get a woman in his age bracket to even want to be around him. Interesting. Let's go.
I see what I'm saying. I thought.
No, so, you know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
We are gathered here today to bury not only the career, but the charisma and the character of the person known as Aubrey Graham.
Let the church say amen. Amen. Amen.
Some would say he was a good man. Some would say he was shrewd.
Jesus.
Some would say he was a batted boy.
Facts.
But nah, man say he was rude.
Not a rude boy, man. He's a bitch boy.
Man, I gotta tell you a little story real quick. Why is it that unsolicited text messages are being given to minors who you know support you? Drake, get it together now. Get it together now. Before I get approval from mothers and we release text messages. Go to jail? You worried about go to jail? You're gonna go to hell for what you're doing. Oh yeah, and we know about you getting that one little case expunged and expelled, because you're, very, very familiar with the government of Toronto and Canada in general, and we know about that one little thing with a girl that happened in Nova Scotia. We know about that. Oh, y'all don't know about that? Oh yeah, that's because, like I said, it was expunged and expelled and all of this, and he was pardoned by the Crown and all of this, but there's no documentation of that. But that's the word on road, allegedly.
Oh, we ain't know nothing about that. Word? Ain't know nothing about that.
Y'all gonna look back one day and say, oh, it was right there.
Why aren't they coming? Yep, that's because the man is a constituent of the Crown. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. It's similar to what some people would call a CI. You would do your homework. Well, listen, 17. Did he just call her by her age? Ayo, the man them say, hey, listen, 17. Whose man's is this? Forest Hills, report to the chat immediately. Forest Hills, report to the chat immediately. You like the way that... Call Tyrone. Call the Wassers. Call somebody.
Is it true that the most beautiful girls in the world are here in Toronto?
I would say so, yes.
How'd you get them here from Miami? You flew them in your plane?
Help the children.
Oh, man. That's a valid point.
They come in your plane?
Yeah.
Do you still kiss your fans?
Watch the expressions on the man them faces. Y'all know Nardwuar always got to dig up something from someone's past. Y'all check this clip out and listen to it and watch it with the Crody. I did a little bit of clipping and shaving and nailing it down for you so you can really, really see the reactions of these questions. Just be very, very attentive to the answers of the questions. You understand? All right, back to the video.
No, I stopped that. I think
There's a button video circulating about, I think 2009 you were kissing your fans.
the glory days, man.
The glory days.
I miss it.
The glory days. Kissing his fans, his underage fans, is the glory days that he missed. So keep it moving.
A lot. That was when I had this guy on the road with me. Yep.
Sex offenders on OVO that he keep on a monthly allowance. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. And your homeboy needs a subpoena. That predator moving flocks.
There's at the Doubletree Hotel.
Now you understand what the man was saying? You understand what he was saying? Now who's the shepherd? If he is the slaughterhouse, if he owns the slaughterhouse, right? Who's the shepherd? In my last story, I told you what? I seen 40 in the car, 40 pulled up. in the hood, and Chubbs was in the back. That's how I got back to where I was at, and the man them stole from me in the first place. That's the gopher. You get me? I don't care.
Hey, that's deep. So pretty much, when they go fishing for these teens, they send 40 as a familiar face so that they know that it's real. And he shepherds these young men and young ladies out to the OVO studios or wherever they take them to. And who knows what happens. These young kids that's been there, they know what's happening. They probably are under the thoughts that because they signed NDA paper that they can't speak on it. But again, I don't believe that a minor is even available, you know what I'm saying, to have the right to sign a NDA without their parents' permission or their parents being there. So that could be null and void, and this is interesting to me because from what this man is explaining, this rabbit hole that he's opening up, we could start seeing and start getting these stories about what went on with these kids, these adolescents at the OVO Sweatshop. Let's get back to it. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if y'all looking forward to that. If so, leave a comment. Let us know. If you're looking forward to hearing some of the stories from the kids that have been up to the OVO Sweatshop, because I am. I'm interested. I want to say this. I'm more interested in hearing that than I am hearing another song from Drake. Yeah, I don't care how cute the song is. I am more interested in hearing the youngsters that have been up to that sweatshop and the things that have happened to them at that sweatshop. I am more interested in hearing that than another song from D-Rake. I'm giving the name that this man gave him. You know what I'm saying? D-Rake. He's raking the yard. He's raking and raping and pillaging the village and the culture, not just here in America, but even in his own backyard. And we would have no knowledge of this if we didn't have a guy like this, Lord Cardiac, giving us the inside scoop. So I want y'all to pray for protection over this man. And I'm interested in hearing some of his music too, I'm not gonna lie. Let's keep it going now.
Fam, stop all the whistle blowing. I ain't told on nobody. Ever. But guess what? You niggas are perverts. If this be the first time I tell, I'm glad. I'm glad I snitched. You niggas is perverts. You heard what I said? I say it again. You want me to snitch again? Perverts. And the pervertedness starts in the mind. The pervertedness to steal music from the young, steal women from the young, and still try to act young. I don't even know what to be said about what should be done to people of that caliber. But I do know is they not like me. They not like me. They not like me.
I like this young man. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm interested in hearing his music, hearing more about these stories. This is getting interesting, folks. And it is God's plan, pun intended. Kendrick said it was God's plan to show y'all the liar. You feel me? And the lies and the manipulations, tactics, and all that was being used to get this guy into the status where he's at, all that is being exposed and exploited thanks to the internet, thanks to these cameras, these microphones, And thanks to the people who are not scared to use their voice and give their voice to the voiceless. Shout out to Laura Cardiac. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this segment. It's because of the narrative that's being brought up that if you're not from the United States, you can't be a part of the hip hop culture, which is not true at all. They not like us does not mean that because you're not from the United States, you are not like us. This guy here is clearly like us. He clearly feels the same way we feel about a lot of things. He clearly has a soul and an understanding of what's right and what's wrong. And he's clearly fed up with the propaganda and the oppression that has been oppressed upon him and the people that he know that have been to the OVO Sweatshop and have been used and exploited as teenagers. So with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this segment. And if you agree with or disagree with the context of this content, make sure that you subscribe, like, hit the bell for more notifications when we drop content or when we go live. Most importantly, if you're an independent artist, a model, an entrepreneur, from wherever you're from across the globe, and you need to get your voice heard and your products out to the world, and you just need an avenue to help you with that, make sure you sign up for theraphustle.com. Create you a hustler's profile page. Go to our service tab, promotional tabs, see what we could do for you, and let's hustle together. Because if being yourself is what you want to get across to the world without being exploited, then this is a spot, a safe place for you to be. You don't have to worry about nobody stealing your stuff over here, making it our own. You don't have to worry about nobody trying to suppress your voice, change your narrative. You can be 100% you right here with us at theraphustle.com. We want the truth. We don't want the lies. Whether the truth hurts or not, the truth shall set us all free from oppression, from having an oppressed mentality to where we're scared to tell the truth because somebody is holding something over us or because the people who pay us are going to stop their payments if I speak the truth. That is called oppression. If you see something, say something. On that note, if you have a soul and you really care about restoration, reparations, and real rap, then you are like us.